Have you ever wanted to hold an entire world in your hands? Well, today, we're doing just that. We are building our very own miniature forest, a complete ecosystem sealed inside a glass jar. This isn't just a bit of fun with mud and leaves, it's a living laboratory. We're about to introduce some incredible creatures to this tiny world to see if they can survive. It's a real-life experiment, a test of survival right here on my workbench. We're going to watch nature in action, up close and personal. This jar will become a tiny jungle, full of life, drama, and secrets waiting to be discovered. Let's get started on this brilliant adventure. So, what are the stars of our show? They are called isopods. You might know them by other names like roly-polies, woodlice, or pill bugs. These little critters are not insects. They are actually crustaceans. That means they are more closely related to crabs and shrimps than to beetles or ants. In the wild, isopods are nature's cleanup crew. They are detritivores, which is a fancy word for creatures that eat dead and decaying things. They munch on fallen leaves, rotting wood, and other organic matter. By doing this, they break down waste and return vital nutrients back into the soil, helping new plants to grow strong. These tiny titans are absolutely essential for a healthy ecosystem. Without them and other decomposers, forests would be buried under a thick layer of dead leaves and wood. The nutrients would be locked away, and the whole system would grind to a halt. Isopods are the unsung heroes of the forest floor, working tirelessly to keep everything in balance. They are small, but their job is massive. That's why we've chosen them for our experiment. We want to see if they can perform their important role within the tiny enclosed world we are about to create for them. It's a big challenge for such a little creature. Our mission is simple but exciting. We want to see if a small group of isopods can not only survive, but thrive inside our sealed mini forest. Will they have enough food? Will the air and moisture levels be right for them? This jar will be their entire universe. By observing them, we can learn so much about how ecosystems work. It's a window into the complex web of life, showing us how every single part, no matter how small, plays a crucial role. This experiment is a survival test, and the isopods are our brave contestants. Let the tiny jungle games begin. Creating our mini forest world was a careful and fascinating process. First, we needed the right container. We chose a large clear glass jar with a sealable lid. This allows us to see everything happening inside while keeping the ecosystem closed off from the outside world. The first layer we added to the bottom was a thin bed of small pebbles. This is our drainage layer. It's super important because it prevents the soil from becoming waterlogged, which could drown the plant roots and make the environment unhealthy for our isopods. It's like building the foundation for a house. You have to get it right from the start. Next, on top of the pebbles, we placed a mesh screen. This small but vital piece stops the soil from falling down into the drainage layer and mixing with the water. Above the mesh, we added a layer of activated charcoal. This might seem like a strange ingredient for a forest, but it's a brilliant natural filter. The charcoal helps to absorb impurities and prevent any bad smells from building up inside the sealed jar over time. It keeps the air and water clean, which is essential for the long-term health of our little world. It's all about creating a stable, balanced environment for our creatures to live in. Then came the most important layer, the soil. We used a rich, damp potting mix, full of organic nutrients. This will be the home for our plants and the primary food source for our isopods. We made the soil deep enough for the plants to root properly. We carefully selected a few small, hardy plants like moss and tiny ferns. These plants are perfect for a closed terrarium because they love high humidity and low light. They will produce oxygen through photosynthesis and add to the natural feel of the miniature forest. We arranged them carefully, creating little hills and valleys for our isopods to explore. Finally, with our landscape complete, it was time to introduce the inhabitants. We gently placed about 10 isopods onto the surface of the soil. They immediately began to explore their new home. Some burrowed straight into the damp soil, disappearing from sight, while others scurried under the pieces of bark and leaf litter we had added for them. This leaf litter isn't just for decoration, it's their main food supply. We gave the jar a light misting of water to raise the humidity, sealed the lid, and placed it in a spot with indirect sunlight. Our tiny world was now complete and ready for observation. In the first few days, the jar was a hive of activity. The isopods were constantly on the move, exploring every nook and cranny of their new environment. During the day, they often hid from the light, tucking themselves away under the leaf litter or burrowing into the moist soil. But as dusk fell, they would become more active. We could see them crawling over the moss, climbing the small twigs, and most importantly, eating. We watched them munching on the decaying leaves we had provided. This was a fantastic sign. It showed they were comfortable enough in their new home to start feeding, which is the first step to survival. A key sign of survival is, of course, their feeding behavior. We could see tiny chew marks appearing on the edges of the dried leaves. This confirmed that they were doing their job as decomposers. They weren't just eating, they were recycling. As they consumed the dead organic matter, they were breaking it down and releasing nutrients back into the soil, which would, in turn, feed the plants. It was incredible to see this fundamental process of nature happening right inside our jar. Their constant movement also helped to aerate the soil, mixing it up and keeping it healthy. They were already becoming tiny engineers of their ecosystem. Over the next few weeks, we noticed subtle but important changes within the jar. The condensation on the glass followed a daily cycle, appearing in the morning and clearing by the afternoon, showing that the water cycle was working perfectly. The plants continued to look healthy, and we even spotted some new growth on the ferns. The isopods themselves seemed to be doing well. We could always find them if we looked closely, often gathered in small groups in damp, dark areas. A struggling isopod might become lethargic or stay out in the open, but ours remained active and secretive, which are signs of healthy behavior for these creatures. The ultimate proof of their success came about a month into our experiment. While carefully observing the jar, we spotted something incredibly tiny moving in the soil. It was a baby isopod. This was the moment we had been hoping for. It meant that not only were the original isopods surviving, but they were thriving enough to reproduce. Their population was growing, which is the best indicator of a healthy, stable environment. They had enough food, water, and shelter to create the next generation. Our little survival test was a resounding success, proving that these resilient creatures could sustain themselves in our miniature jungle. This simple experiment with a jar and some isopods has taught us so much. We learned that even the smallest creatures have a huge impact on their environment. The isopods weren't just living in the jar, they were actively shaping it. They cleaned up waste, recycled nutrients, and kept the soil healthy, which allowed the plants to grow. It demonstrated the powerful connection between the living and non-living parts of an ecosystem. Every element, from the drainage pebbles to the tiniest isopod, had a role to play. Removing any one of them would have thrown the entire system out of balance, showing just how delicate these connections can be. We also learned about the resilience of life. These isopods were taken from their natural habitat and placed in a completely new, artificial world. Yet with the right conditions, they didn't just survive, they flourished. They adapted to their new surroundings and established a self-sustaining colony. This shows how incredibly adaptable nature can be. It's a powerful reminder that if we give nature a chance, it can often find a way to thrive. It proves that even in a closed system, the fundamental cycles of life, growth, death, decomposition, and rebirth, will continue as long as the basic building blocks are in place. This project is more than just a cool science experiment. It's a vital educational tool. Building and observing a mini ecosystem like this makes big, complex ideas about ecology easy to understand. You can see the water cycle as condensation on the glass. You can watch the food chain in action as the isopods eat the leaf litter. It makes science tangible and exciting. It's something anyone can do at home or in a classroom, sparking curiosity about the natural world. These tiny ecosystems are windows into the workings of our much larger planet, helping us appreciate the intricate systems that support all life on Earth. Ultimately, our little forest jar is a powerful metaphor for our own planet. Earth is also a closed ecosystem, a giant terrarium floating through space. Everything we need to survive is right here, and just like in our jar, every living thing has a role. The work of the isopods reminds us that creatures we might overlook are essential for the health of our world. This experiment teaches us the importance of biodiversity and the need to protect every part of our global ecosystem. By understanding and caring for these small worlds, we learn how to be better custodians of our one precious planet.